But I think Vorion was more niche, because it's not just the economy of, like, you know, I put this much time in and I get this much footage out of it. It's you know, if that footage does 5 times as well as raw footage, well, then if I spend 5 times as long making it, I'm still breaking even, and it's still, you know, in terms of the kind of time economy, it's still good. But if it does just as well as if I'd just literally sat down and immediately recorded whatever was coming through my mind in some sort of stream of consciousness, never touched the game before, have no clue what I'm doing kind of style, then it's like, okay, so why did I just spend 16 hours building that ship in Vorion to get the same kind of return on investment as I would have gotten if I just played it for 30 minutes and just uploaded that? That's where the difficulty lies. Is finding the right sort of balance between what I'm getting back from it versus what I'm putting into it. And to answer your question about From the Depths it's got more appeal, and so it doesn't suffer as badly in terms of that, but it's still a niche game. However, if I have to spend time to learn the game first, then that has to be factored into the time economy. It's one of the reasons why I didn't get into Crusader Kings until Crusader Kings 3 came out, because at that point it was a fresh game and it was built to be appreciated by a fresh audience, rather than it's got like 5 years plus worth of DLC content that kind of assumes that you were slowly building up to understand it all with each new release of DLC. So that if you want to play it now, you've got to dedicate you've got to take a week off work to learn how to play the game first. It's like, I cannot afford that time economy, because, well, it's not... how should I put it? A lot of you, from what I can tell, play EVE. So this analogy may work really well for you. The difference between building a ship yourself, mining your own components, building the ship, all of your own, and just buying the ship. Now, some people, when they play EVE, they're like, oh yeah, no, basically the ship's free because I mined all the materials and I got the blueprints and I built my own ship, so it's super cheap. It's like, yeah, you built the ship yourself out of the materials you mined. However, how much money would you have gotten if you just sold those materials instead of using them to build the ship? Would you have made more money's worth than the ship is worth that you built if you just spent all of that time mining in high sec and then sold it to someone and then used that money to buy a ship? You've got to account for what else you could have been doing with that time that you spent mining and then waiting for the blueprints to build the ship and all of that kind of stuff and getting the right skills. You've got to account for all of that in the investment. It's not simply, well, I didn't spend money on it, so it's free. It's not free, because you've got to, you're now weighing it up against how much money could you have made with that time if you'd done anything else with it. Opportunity cost. Thank you so much. Opportunity cost. I'd completely forgotten the term, but that's it. Yeah, opportunity cost. It's not free. If you spent time on it, then what else could you have spent that time on, and would you have made more by doing that? And if so, then that was the price of making it for free. And so in effect, that's the same thing with making content. If I have to spend time learning something, what could I have done with that time? What else could I have been doing with it? That's my opportunity cost now. And so part of me not jumping back onto From the Depths for a while is because it's changed so much since the last time I played. And I would have to spend time relearning. So, speaking of this, in this game, is it better to mine or make hypercoils to sell to buy the other stuff? Generally speaking, I will make... Hypercoils is a really good example. I will usually sell hypercoils and buy other stuff. Like, there are some things that are so valuable. Like, Tri-Steel is actually incredibly valuable. If I hit a couple of big titanium asteroids, I'll use Tri-Steel as a means to get simple things, like I'll buy plates because it's just faster for me. It's really, like, in terms of the money, it's awful. But in terms of my time, it's amazing. And I do that a lot off camera. Diamonds, like, I find a couple of carbon asteroids and I'm like, okay, so this is basically this much steel that I now don't have to salvage from other things for like 40 minutes before the next build, before I can bring the viewers back in to say, hey, I finished gathering the materials. Is there a way to filter the missions based on system? I wish there were. You know what? I will take a ship and I'll go and complete those missions because they have been annoying the hell out of me as well. Sorry to smack you with the real talk there, because I know that I imagine that quite a few people are like, oh, but I really like From the Depths, and hearing this makes me sad because it makes it sound like you'll never go back to it. That is not what I'm saying. 100% not. But it just needs to be the right time. If there is... Okay, so here's a secret. Here's a secret. This is a super behind-the-scenes YouTube secret. You're very privileged, chat. Don't let the guild know that I've told you this. Burn these VODs. After you've received this message, destroy the VODs of this stream. Okay? Here's the super YouTube secret. If there is a game that your favorite creator can't justify playing because of opportunity cost, January. Don't suggest it to them in October. Don't suggest it to them in February. Don't suggest it to them in the middle of summer. Don't suggest it to them in November. Suggest it to them in January. Because in January, they've got nothing better to do. Nothing better to do. It's why quite a lot of content creators are like, yeah, no, I'm going on holiday. Work-life balance. When? January. For no reason at all. Just, it's going to be January. It'll always be January. He cites the deep magic. But many of them know this and make lists for January. Well, yeah, that's the thing. But that's when you suggest it for them. Because there's significantly higher chance that it'll end up on their list for January. Yeah, no, exactly, Buttersray. Both Lady Sheilab and me really enjoyed it. We both really, really want to do it. But it didn't do great on Lady Sheilab's channel. Like, her opportunity cost was rough. My opportunity cost was negative. And I shit you not, I lost subs every time I put out a raft video. I tanked it for a month. That was about as much as I could handle. I want people to enjoy that series more than you could know. But they just didn't. And every time I released a video on Raft, it was a video of Raft instead of something that people wanted to see more. And I was hemorrhaging subscribers. It was the first time my channel had gone negative on subscribers. It was painful. And in the beginning, I was like, it's fine. I'll tank it for a bit. It's probably just, the ebb and flow. It's normal. But they'll probably, it'll be replaced by people who like Raft, and that's a normal kind of move. That's just how that works. But it didn't. I put Raft out every second day for a month, and it really hurt. I can't do that again. Not for a while, at least. I need to give a bit of space, because the thing is, YouTube pays attention to that and remembers. It wouldn't be so bad. Like, as I've always said, I can float a weak series for a little while. As long as I've got a strong series to pair it with, a weak series is okay, because, it like, YouTube does care, but it'll average out. But when it's that bad, YouTube remembers it for a long time. And even then, if I start uploading a really strong series, a series that would have been really strong in any other setting, because Raft had tanked my analytics so hard, YouTube won't even try to push it out. And I understand the logic behind it. It just sucks, you know? Me understanding it doesn't make it suck less. But, you know, there we are. So, yeah, unfortunately, whenever someone says, oh, I wish you'd play more Raft, it hurts because I'm like, I wish I could too. I wish I could play more Raft. Here's the other secret, though, chat, because I see some people in chat saying, I hate those algorithmic overlords. Like it or not, you are the algorithm. That's just the way it is. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not pointing fingers saying you're the reason this is, but understand you are the algorithm. The algorithm isn't some, you know, mustache twirling villain. The algorithm is observed behaviors with the audience. The audience is the algorithm. It informs the algorithm. The best way to describe this is, I think universally everyone hates laughter tracks. I don't think anyone likes them. Everyone hates laugh tracks. And I was watching this documentary by some film producers. Well, it wasn't a film. It was more like, well, it wasn't even a comedy, but it was kind of comedy adjacent. They were doing it for I can't remember which network they were doing it for, but they'd done this show. Are you okay? Hello? You need help? There we are. But they were adamant. It's like, no, we're not going to put a laughter track on this. But the kind of like the network was like, no, we need a laughter track. And they were like, no, that's stupid. It's horrible. You come from like, you know, it was like, okay, boomer. No, we're not going to have a laughter track. You don't understand what the audience wants these days. And so the network like, oh, okay, well we'll do the test screenings without it. They did the test screenings. People were like, oh yeah, it's kind of okay. But what they didn't know is that the studio also got test screenings with the laughter track. And the craziest thing about this is that the audience in the test screenings came out and they got a questionnaire, this normal way they do for test screenings, and things they liked, things they didn't like. With a very ridiculously high percentage of them said, I hated the laughter track, but I loved the show, and I loved this part, and I loved that part. The ones without the laughter track, the show was just mediocre to them. The points where the laughter track were, people thought the show was better and more funny at those points, even while they disliked the fact the laughter track was there. Humans are just lights and clockwork. We are meat puppets. Our brains are complete chaos. We don't know what we want. This is simply the reality that you have to accept. I used to bristle whenever my friends would say, oh yeah, viewers don't know what they want. I'll give them what they want. They don't know what they want, but I know. I used to get quite pissed off, and I started one or two arguments with my peers over that. It's like, come on, you're just being arrogant. This is so. This isn't you. You know, you're better than this. This is a horrible way to talk to people. It's like, you know, your viewers aren't numbers. I got so righteous. Five years later, and whilst I still feel it's arrogant, and putting it that way still makes me bristle, I can't deny that the evidence points to them being right. And I dislike that it does with the passion of 1,000 suns. You've no idea how much I am angry internally that the evidence seems to suggest that they're right. I really dislike it. I dislike this as about as much as I can dislike any observable fact. But all signs point to, we don't know what we want, actually. Again, we're just lights and clockwork. It's very frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. Hashtag end rant. Maybe. Aavak, I think your audience is wanting thinking. Raft has some nifty building, but not too much deep thought that you excel at. Like, even Brotato had build analysis. You think that, but a decent portion of my audience just want me to enjoy being happy in Stardew Valley. You know, I understand where you're coming from, and probably a better way to put it is rather than oh, okay, I'm bristling because I can remember my peers treating viewers like they were just numbers, and that annoys me. So I'm going to walk this back. You did not mean that, and I am directing my ire at you without any justifiable cause. A better way to put it, though, would have been to say a large part of my active audience right now, the people who watch Cosmoteer, for example, which is a reasonable part to focus on right now, given what I'm playing, prefer the more thinky, focused games. But my audience isn't homogenous. It isn't this massive monolithic block. I've got a wide spread of demographics, and I'm quite proud of that, actually. And it's something I really regret not being able to cater to as much as I am used to in the last couple of months. I've been putting out much less content, whereas I'm used to being able to put out 2, at least, sometimes 3 videos a day, which allowed me to play more series that were different and so thus cater to many different parts of my audience. You know, the people who just had a shit day at work and just wanted to come back and watch an episode of Stardew Valley where I'm telling the cows I love them and just relaxing and trying to play the harp, my pocket harp, out of nowhere to frogs in the rain with Abigail. You know, different strokes for different folks, and I like to as much as I shouldn't be, considering how much of a burden there is whenever someone says, oh, you know, you've no idea how much seeing this makes my otherwise shitty life more bearable. I'm like, oh my god, now I'm responsible for you not feeling awful about your life. This is too much responsibility. I just want to play games, dude. But, you know, still, someone makes that. There's a little bit of Bob Ross in all of us. There's a lot of Bob Ross in me. I just want to have happy little friends and trees. Let's get up here. Radio, thank you very much for that gifted sub. That was super kind of you. Manglebot, many coffee drinkers, when asked what kind of coffee they like, will ask for a rich dark roast, but will rate higher light sugary coffee because rich dark roast is the kind of thing you imagine refined drinkers to like. Mangled pork, that is perfect. That is so on the nose. That is perfect. So good. So good. I'm very familiar with that scenario with wine. I had to develop a taste for red wine. Not because I started liking it and I wanted more of it, but because it was the refined wine to have with certain meals, and I wanted to appear refined. Haha! I will walk as one of them, unknown to them. I shall move in their ranks, but eventually I did actually develop a taste for red wine, but I had to practice liking it before that happened. And I think that is very much the case with people who say, I want a rich dark roast, or someone who says, oh yes, I want a strong whiskey. Really? Are you sure you want a strong whiskey? Because far be it from me to assume the type of whiskey you like, but you're giving me very strong dessert whiskey vibes. You are not giving me peaty, this will actually keep you alive in the Arctic whiskey vibes. But that's the whiskey you're asking for, and I just want to double check, because they are very, very, very different. Every content creator eventually has their I might not be here if not for your content moment. from a fan, which is both incredibly meaningful and a huge thing to process that then sticks with you, especially in the moments where you feel your content is going, oh, dear God, yeah. Yep. Also, I'm really sorry, chat. I know you're here for like Cosmoteer and watching random space dudes just, I don't know, dance in the vacuum. I completely understand. It's pretty liberating experience. But yeah, it's turned into a hashtag Real Talk content creator edition. Yeah, I think we're all guilty of well, not even guilty. I'm not going to say guilty. It's not an expression of something that guilt should be associated with. But I think we're all guilty of wanting to like something more than we do. I know several people, and you know, it's not something you'd really ever call someone out for. It's just something you'd understand of them and perhaps use to inform decisions. But I know several people who want to be the sort of people who like going for a walk. They are not people who like going for a walk. And if you suggest going for a walk, they will enthusiastically agree and then be miserable for the entire time. Which is a rough experience to go through. But I know several people who like the idea of being the sort of person who likes going for a walk, who likes going for a jog, who likes going for a hike. There's the sort of active person. And they're just not it. And that's okay. You don't have to be it. But, yeah. The only problems really come from them trying to be something they're not. Depends where the walk is. If it's a walk to the ice cream shop, yes. I love that. Well played. Mangle Pork, I wish I liked going for walks. I love going for walks, but I completely get people who don't like it. There are lots of things that I find... like, I'll do them, but I think with enough time to actually observe that phenomena, I've grown more equipped to be honest with myself and thus the people around me. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'll come do that thing with you. I'm not going to enjoy it. So I want you to understand that like, I want us to all be on the same page. I will do this thing that I won't enjoy because I know you will enjoy. But this is like a credit transaction in our friendship. I'll do this a couple of times. And I won't even necessarily expect a return. But if a return doesn't happen at some point, and it continues to be expected that I keep doing this thing that I actively don't like, our relationship is going to erode. There has to be give and take. You know, there are some things that I really like that I know you don't like. But they're not things that are any issue for you. It's just there's a million other things that you could be doing with your time that you prefer to do. But, you know, this is us kind of meeting in the middle. It has to happen eventually. I have had a very fortunate life in that I've had an opportunity to make friends with people from incredibly disparate and varied backgrounds. I have had the chance to observe very different human beings. It has furnished me with A, quite a lot of knowledge about social interactions. B, unfortunately, a bit more confidence that I know how social interactions work than I probably do. Something I have to remind myself frequently. Right, I think we are full on plates. I do need to start stockpiling some more plates back here, which means I need to salvage, because they won't unload the plates here anymore. And that's by design. I don't want them to. I'm going to need to turn on my hypercoil manufacturing soon as well. But what I would really like to do is send the Hercules back to salvage more from the graveyard, I think. Hercules, come on down here. Let me see how much we have. Right. Insufficient resources, but by how much? I need 7,828 plates. 597 hypercoils. I need a stupid amount of tri-steel. I've got the diamonds. I've got the processes. I have nowhere near the fissiles. Okay. There's some tri-steel. Perfect. Knowing how social interactions work sounds lovely. I spend a tiring amount of time reminding myself people don't secretly hate me and doing self-talk to ignore my own catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is an amazing sounding word. I'm going to steal it, and I'm not even going to credit you for using it. It's just going to go straight into my passive vocabulary, and I will even forget where I found it. And then I will have complete plausible deniability. No, I made this word up myself. It's now my word. Joking aside, though, that is actually an amazing word. He's a word thief. Yep. Only slightly less hated than a horse thief. Right. Let's scooch forward a bit more. More copper. So much more copper. There's another graveyard down there I think we'll go and visit. And there's titanium just over here. Who else is currently playing some Cosmoteer right now, chat? Sound out. Raise your hands. Let's go and grab this tri-steel. That's a big, chunky tri-steel asteroid, to be fair. That is nice. That is going to give us a good many plates. I deeply approve. Apollonius Creed, thank you very much for the 21 months. Diolch yn fawr iawn. I've been playing Planet Crafter, looking to start playing Cosmoteer when I finish in the next few days. Ah, you are a sensible person and don't buy a new game until you've finished playing the last one you bought. I admire you. I manage to do that with books most of the time, but games, you could probably start an online digital distribution platform with the games that I have bought but have not even installed yet. All right, let's scooch down here. Can I see much down here? Not really. Some gold over there that I shall collect shortly. I think Cosmoteer is a game I think I will enjoy more than I actually will, but I am having a low energy and motivation day, so I'm playing some cozy Skyrim. Ah, cozy Skyrim. I am jelly. I need to find time to play more of my stream games, I really do. Right, I want you to gather all of this, and I will move you around to the thing that I want you to gather the most in any one moment. Let us break down all of the ships. No Cosmoteer for me. I'm replaying God of War for when I can afford the new one. Ah, I see. I imagine there's quite a few people in that boat. Oh, I've split time between it and Vermintide 2 with my friends. Love that it's a chill game that I've gotten to a point that it's on autopilot, roughly 1/3 of the way to breathable atmosphere. Oh, nice. Very nice. I don't know what they're doing. How are you set up? You're only set to man these two. Oh, it's probable that I've lost porters to this room. Yeah, I believe there's only one person here. Yep. Right, I want you. You're an operator. I want this porter to also work in here. Oh no, come back. Come. Oh, you're going to do your first job and then you'll come back. Okay, fine. Womp. No, what? Why? But. No, don't go out. Stay in. God damn it. Life sucks. Too many people are willing to go elsewhere and do other things. I need to work on the roles. They're not working quite as I want. Aavak, you got me into this, and I've nicked my freighter, the Herc, as a fighter heavily inspired by the Fire Ant. Is probably my fave. My tank goes in, takes fire, and good old D2 goes in and takes out their engine. That's awesome. Well done. Can you see the other ships I have? Sure. Sure. Okay. Is it Galali or is it Gashashi? And no, I'm not making fun of you. That's just how double L's are pronounced in Welsh. This is the Hercules. It's my freighter. Well, my freighter / factory ship. This is the Scarab, though it needs a new paint job and it needs a new redesign. And in fact, that's what we're working towards right now. Let me quickly show you. So internally, this is it. And this is what we're turning it into once I've got the materials for it. And then finally, I've got the Fire Ant, which is this. And that's the internals. This is the first ship that I really started using discrete sealed-in sections with. I'm actually quite happy with. There you go. Galali. Rightio. That might be the case with the work crews in here. Let me have a quick look. Shouldn't be. It should have been all the way down, but maybe you're right. No. Maybe I just need to turn these off. Say, hey, energy supplies, don't do these rolls. So if you've got nothing to do, just don't do anything. Just sit around and just move energy around. That's all I want you to do. Yeah, that's perfect. That's amazing. Exactly what I want. Thank you very much, chat. Laser beams. How much do these pull? 1.2 a second. Yikes. These can pull, between the two of them, almost, well, no, between the two of them, over half the output of this reactor. Mining beams be greedy, yo. They're very thirsty for the energy. Diolch am beth. What did I do? You're welcome, though, but I don't know what I'm taking credit for. Yeah, it's probably time for me to get these bunks set up, really. One of these would be able to handle both. See, this is the thing. This is why I like the idea of having the bunks specifically. Is one operator's bunk would be able to handle both of these quite comfortably. Let's go ahead and do that. So, you don't work that. Actually, put that back. You in particular don't do anything but run these two. And you don't run those two. Nor you, nor you. There we go. That should be it. See, the Hercules was designed prior to me getting everything hooked up properly with this. And deciding on the better ways to man stuff and have dedicated crew assigned to things. So it does struggle a little bit in various ways. Yep, we should now see. Okay, so they're not able to keep these running, like at all. In fact, what a shame. Well, that being said, they're not doing a terrible job, I suppose. But I think ultimately I need a single supplier for each one, not one between the two. Yeah, no, exactly, Lolash. A big railgun allows you to do some crazy things. Right, how much steel have we got here now? We've got enough steel at this point. We've got a decent amount of tri-steel. Let's see, how much do we have? If I wanted to rebuild, we've now got the tri-steel. We're just shy of the plates, though. Just shy. So a little bit more collecting, and then we're good. Right, get down here, because people are having to fly all the way over to you. But yeah, if I could get both of these to run continually, that would be wonderful. Hello, Wildflower. How are you doing? I'm really happy that you've been enjoying it, Lolash. Also, chat, it's about that time for another tea break. We'll be going on one shortly. Just want to finish gathering the plates, if nothing else. Does the redesign have a tractor beam? No. No, the redesign doesn't have a tractor beam. Something I could look to add, but right now, how many crew would be required for that? 4. Nah. just trying to have the things that I think make sense on the ship right now without expanding its functional abilities already costs me a lot. There we go. Right, we are up to 8,322. That's perfect. All right. With that, then, I'm going to say I need Hercules to go grab the gold, and I would like... Oh, that one's gone, so I can get rid of that. Let's take Scarab and Fire Ant down here. I'll leave this around. No, actually, I can take that away. We've got the graveyard symbol there. Like, do tractor beams pull in resources as well? No, sadly. Only ships. Yeah, Vim Vicarius. Lolash mentioned that to me, actually. It's something that we will pop on before we confirm the redesign of the Scarab. Right, let's have a quick chat, shall we? How about... I do need to hire you, to be fair. Let's see. I would like to purchase... How much enriched uranium did I need? Do I have everything I need? I think I might. Needed 56. Okay, I'll grab the 20 then. I'll also grab all those. Carbon, titanium, I'll grab all of that. Initiate trade. I'll send that over to the Hercules when it gets back. Oh, so it would be a lot faster if I just did this. It only cost me 15 Hyperion fuel. And... lost in the warp. Alright, let's scooch back. I would like to transfer resources. Actually, the Fire Ant. Let's bring the Fire Ant in a bit closer. And let's transfer resources across to the Fire Ant. All of the missiles I can. Initiate transfer. And from the Scarab, I would like... all of the tri-steel processes, enriched uranium, not the sulfur. The sulfur needs to stay because the Scarab manufactures its own ammo. There we go. There we go. Shields will go down while the crew are performing logistics. I hope you remember to engage the Gallowfield. No, we don't need that. Nothing wrong with warp travel. Absolutely everything is fine in the warp. Go. We can transfer a little bit more. Right, now with all that done, chomp you. We've got a big old ship that we had a fight with over there that I want to chomp up as well. In a moment, anyway. Alright, let's have a look. How close are we to be able to do this? We are just hypercalls away. 397 hypercalls. which we can comfortably make. And to make it, all we do is turn on the hypercar factory. That being said, I need more copper now because this uses the copper coils and Excuse me, sir. Bloody rude you are. Let's have the scarab go and start looking around for some more copper. There's a lot going on over here, to be fair.